Well, I think we are all good to go ahead and get started. I know I see a few students have joined us so far, and I'm sure a few more will trickle in as we proceed. But I want to thank all the students for being here today. We're super excited to hear you've been admitted to North Park, and we want to give you all the resources to ensure you're able to arrive on campus in fall and be prepared and excited. So, this is a very exciting time of year. And we just congratulate you all for this next big step. I will go ahead quickly and do some housekeeping. So, my name's Darby. I work to run these webinars for schools like North Park. I will be recording the session. So, you will get a recording of the session following today's presentation. Should you want to refer back to anything, maybe you have a friend who wasn't able to make it today. If your parents want to watch along, then we will be distributing that. Right now, I know you don't have the ability to unmute yourself and talk. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to write into the chat or the Q&A feature in the Zoom toolbar. We will get to those questions either during the presentation or at the end. We will open it up for questions. And at that time, you'll also have the ability to unmute and ask questions should you want to ask them that way. But I think that's all my housekeeping. I'll hand it over to Lynn to introduce herself, and then we will give it away to William.
Thank you, Darby. Good evening, morning, everyone. My name is Lynn, and I'm in charge of Vietnam and Southeast Asia country. So nice to see you here. So after this webinar, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us.
Great. Awesome. And with that, we will give it away to Michael or William, excuse me, for his presentation.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning, as Lynn said. We're so excited to hear about your acceptance to North Park, and we cannot wait for you to join us this fall. I know there's probably a ton of questions as a new student coming in, starting university, let alone being an international student coming in and starting university. So we want to make sure that you're prepared, as this is a big step and a huge decision for your future. But I would love to share what North Park does to support that decision. So one of the main things you're probably wondering about is where I'm going to stay, which is a big question to have. We have several residency halls on campus. So your first 3 years, you will be required to live in on-campus housing. It's guaranteed the whole time you're there if you want to live all 4 years. So that's something you don't have to worry about. As a first student, or first year student, it's an excellent way to make new friends, especially students from the US. It gives you an awesome introduction to US culture, and it also allows you to share your culture with the campus community and other American students as well. In terms of residence life, you are allowed to bring your own furniture. We strongly encourage students to work with a roommate on what to bring, what to split up. On your housing application, there are several preferences that you can check or uncheck. Whether it be a single room, whether it be a roommate who say that you like to stay up late, so you want a roommate who does as well, so you guys can work on homework together, something like that. That is a possibility. All of the residence halls come with a study room, which is a quiet room for everyone in the hall to study and interact. You have a shared kitchen, which is available to the residents of the hall. All of our rooms do come with a bed, mattresses, desk, chair, dresser. And then you also have what is called a resident assistant. So this is a peer, a current student, and they're assigned to all the floors in the dorm, and they kind of act as like a guide, a mentor to the younger classmen living on that dorm. The other real cool thing about our residence halls is there's 24-hour campus safety, campus security. So if there's any time of day, any time of evening at all, they are there to help you with whatever that might be. If you are thinking about coming to North Park, just be aware that move-in date is on August 20th, the same day as our orientation. The other big question is, where am I going to eat? So there are 3 places on campus where students can eat and have their meals. You are required to have a meal plan, whether it's a weekly 15 meals a week or all access meals during the week. If you do the weekly meal of 15 meals, there are what we call flex dollars. And these can be used, it can be loaded onto your student ID to be used in like the Viking Cafe or the bagel shop. We try to make every effort we can to accommodate a wide variety of dietary needs, which includes stuff as food allergies, and we can even try to make stuff work to your class schedule. When you want to go off campus and get something to eat, Chicago is one of the best places in the world to do that. In our own neighborhood in Albany Park, there's tons of ethnic restaurants with easy public transportation to get all throughout the city to explore all the different dining options and restaurants and street food that we have. Kind of going along with on-campus living, these are some of our learning spaces. So obviously we have a library on campus. We have Hanson Hall if you're into music for practice and rehearsal and things like that. We have a sim lab, which is really cool for nursing students and other health science students. And then this is kind of the Johnson Center is kind of like, say, like our main hub of campus where students can hang out. There's all different types of services located in this building along with the library. One of the main pillars of North Park is we aim to be city centered. That means that we're actively involved within the city and we want you to be as well. We try to give you access and advice on where to go in the city. Just along around our campus, we have several wildlife and river trails. As I mentioned before, there's tons of restaurants. Public transportation is super easy in Chicago with buses, trains, subways. And as part of your first year or your cost throughout the year, we provide you with what's called a U-Pass. And what this does is it gives you access to all public transportation throughout the city for free during the school year. So from August to May, all of that public transportation is available to you for no extra cost. As you can see kind of here, we're 12 kilometers from the Loop, which is considered to be like the main downtown area of Chicago. And we're only 5 kilometers from Lake Michigan. I know it sounds weird, but Chicago does have a beach on Lake Michigan, and it's absolutely beautiful in the summer. The water is just this incredible blue. Also within Chicago, you have, if you're into art, music, history, architecture, sports, all of that is right in the city. So you don't need, everything is accessible to you right there. And Chicago is a 4 seasons. We get all 4 seasons throughout the year. So it gets really hot in the summer and it gets really cold and snowy in the winter. But it's great to have those 4 seasons and kind of see how the city changes throughout. So one of the best ways to stay active on campus and make new friends is to get involved with some of our clubs and organizations. We have several student associations kind of dedicated to different parts of the world. So we have Scandinavian Student Association, we have an East Asian, Latin American Student Association. So basically what those are is you get to meet other students from that region, discuss topics. But the other cool thing is you're able to, throughout like programs and events throughout the year, you're able to share your own culture with US students or students from different countries as well.
William,
Um,
I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. Are you sharing your screen? Are you meaning to?
yeah, is it not there?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
It's
you're good.
sorry, it says it's sharing. Um, Let me turn it off and back on. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
How's that?
Perfect. Yes,
Is
that
that
looks
better?
great. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, it could have just malfunctioned for a second there.
Okay, so all right, so back to clubs and organizations. I will go back through and I can show you and go over the slides real quick with the pictures and everything once we're done. But as mentioned, we have several clubs and organizations, which include like student government, honor society, as well as clubs specific to your major as well. Another cool thing to get active with North Park is study abroad. So although you are technically an international student already studying abroad, we have the ability for you to kind of study for a semester with some of our partner universities. They can be in countries such as like France, Germany. We have some partners in Sweden as well. And all of that credit that you take at those schools will transfer back to North Park. So you can stay on your regular schedule in order to graduate in time. Another campus activity that a lot of students get involved in is athletics. We are an NCAA Division III athletics team. So we have several women's and men's sports and kind of kind of the typical US sports, basketball, tennis, golf, soccer, all of those things. And even if you're not an athlete, it's really cool to get involved with athletics, whether it be just going to the games, as they're super exciting, they're lots of fun, and again, it's another way to make friends and get in kind of get in touch with the university. These are some of the athletic facilities we have. Outdoor tennis, or sorry, outdoor football field, track and running facilities. We have a recreation center as well as the river walk that I mentioned earlier. The recreation center is open to all students, faculty, and staff. It has all different types of workout equipment. You can play basketball there. There's an indoor track, indoor tennis. So really anything you want to do, you can do in that recreation facility. We like to give students the best chance they have at university, and as a first year student, student success is incredibly important. So we have all of these things such as academic advising, which can be done directly with your professor, or for the first year cohort programs. Supplemental instruction, so this is like one-on-one tutoring. There's a writing center to help you with essays. We have disability resources, as well as counseling services as well. So I know that university can be quite daunting and very stressful. So counseling is a big, it's something that, it's a big, how should I say, it's a big deal to have access to. Another thing, internships. So we'll go over campus or over employment in general, but as an F1 student visa holder, you're only eligible to work on campus, specifically most of the time in our dining hall. If you want to work off campus, you'll have to do so as part of an internship, and the internship does need to be related to your program of study. So this is called CPT. It can be full-time, it can be part-time. It has to be approved by an advisor and the international office. The best way to find these internships and these jobs is through our career center. A lot of our professors have contacts as well in the industries. We also have something called a Crux program, which gets our students out into the community every week to work on different projects. This is another great way to meet people in the community and to gain those connections. That was a kind of brief overview of, what we have to offer student service wise. I know that Darby had mentioned that my screen wasn't sharing at the beginning, so I'd like to go back through real quick and just touch on some of the pictures. So these are the 3 residence halls that we have. And this is kind of the typical format of the residency hall. These are some of our dining options that I mentioned before. This is our bistro, and then this is the Einstein Bagel Company that's on campus. These are the learning spaces I mentioned. So here's a picture of our library, our music practice audition hall, the Johnson Center, which is kind of like the main hub of campus, and then our sim lab, which is really, really cool if you're in nursing or some of the health science programs. These are just kind of some of the pictures of the city that I mentioned. During the slide, I had also forgot to mention that we're only about 20-minute drive from Chicago O'Hare International Airport. So it really is easy for you to fly in and out on breaks, vacations, stuff like that. And I believe that's where I got to. Darby, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the last one I had shown.
You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, that was a quick overview. If any of you have any questions, feel free to ask me now. I had put some of my contact info up there, so yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you out.
Great. I will go ahead and give our students the ability to unmute themselves. Feel free to ask the question aloud. I know we had some written in questions as well. One of them having to do with the admissions process, specifically transcripts. So do official transcripts need to be sent from the student's previous school, or do students just need to upload the transcript via the North Park portal, or maybe the Wellspring portal? I'm not sure exactly what the portal means.
Yeah, so the documents will come in through the Wellspring portal, and then that'll come over to me, and then I'll review based on that. So like
So no official transcripts have to be sent from previous schools.
right, we would just need the transcript from the previous school, but it doesn't have to be official. It just needs to come from one of the counselors there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the
Um,
English test, whether it's Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS, that can be uploaded in the portal as well.
yeah, since we're talking about a transcript, we're having one student. She studied high school in the US, but
Mhm.
now she has gone back to Vietnam, and so it's kind of hard for her to contact her high school and ask for the transcript to be sent to North Park. So can she upload her transcript, the one that she have, on our portal and then send it to you? Is it considered official?
She could, yeah, she can upload on the portal. I can take a look at it. You said it's difficult for her to get the US transcript, her high school.
Yeah, to ask her the counselor from her high school, which already graduated, to send it to North Park because she's
Oh,
not in
okay.
the US anymore. Yeah, and she graduated like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Is she doing her her bachelor's degree right now? She grad
She's studying the first year
at the
in
bachelor's
Vietnam.
level? Okay.
Yeah, she will do the bachelor.
Yeah, we would need the high school transcript. We can work later on, yeah, trying to figure out how we can get that, Lynn, from the
Mm.
from
Yeah,
the high school.
we
Yeah,
can all be in touch about that one.
yeah.
Awesome. So we also had another question regarding on-campus housing.
Mhm.
If living on campus is required, or they're able to move out of on-campus housing after their freshman year and live elsewhere.
So the first 3 years you're required to live in on-campus housing. Um, Towards after your sophomore year, you'll have more options in terms of like on-campus apartments and stuff like that. However, if you have family within the area of Chicago, um, on-campus housing is not required. So we would just have you fill out a form, and that would be the way that you are permitted to live off campus prior to those 3 years.
Awesome. Great. I see we have a hand raised if you want to ask your question.
Hương, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Hương ơi, em giơ tay đúng không?
All right, well, wait, maybe the student is deciding on their final question. I think there is still a little bit of confusion around this
No,
transcript
I'm
stuff.
sorry. I had some problem with
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. I have some problem with my computer, my laptop, and my mouse is
All right, well, it looks like you've gone and muted yourself again. So if you have a question, please feel free to unmute and ask the question. You can also type it into the chat. It seems like there's still a little bit of confusion around the transcripts and sending. So this is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, William. Students can apply with their own submitted transcript via the Wellspring portal or through their agency.
Yeah.
Then once they're admitted, the transcript from their high school or their previous university must be sent from the school to North Park.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
For Vietnamese student, most of our high school they don't have an email to send it to the US. So we usually ask the student to bring a hard copy and bring it to the US when they enter the school. Yeah.
Yeah, the hard copy is fine. Just for the terms of admittance, they would work with their agent on getting that
Yeah.
transcript. Yeah, we don't need the official in order to review the application.
Yeah. So khách hàng is enough. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, what other questions do we have today?
You do also pick up from the airport for student coming this fall.
For students coming in, they are required to get to campus on their own. However, as I mentioned, it's only 20 minutes away. It's a very, very quick Uber ride. But we are there to welcome them on campus as soon as they get there. If they arrive at a unique time or at 2 a.m, they can just let us know ahead of time and we'll make sure that we can accommodate them. Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Awesome. Does anyone have any final questions for William? All right, well, if we have no further questions, if you have questions following today, please be sure to reach out to Lynn, who is more than capable to get those asked and answered or connect you with the right people, such as William, to assist in anything you may need. Thank you to all the students who joined us today. We're again super excited about your admission to North Park, and we really hope to see you come the fall semester. And a huge thank you to William for getting up early this morning and presenting to all of us. It's bright and early here in the United States, so thank you again.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. And if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to Lynn. And as Darby said, we're happy to help you. So I know that questions will come up later you might not have thought of today. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Awesome. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day.
Bye, everyone.